As we enter the holiday season, some organizations have network freezes to accommodate holiday processing volumes. Others are fending off an unusually high volume of opportunistic attacks. Here at Zentera, we continue to do everything we can to isolate, secure, and protect critical assets. But let's turn and take a look at a few recent news stories. In our leadoff story, a recently filed criminal indictment in the U.S. versus Dubranova illustrates just how serious the compromise of SCADA systems often is. In September and October of 2023, their team assembled a manual, if you will, on how to exploit SCADA systems from doing a bunch of web research. And they used this manual then to teach an extended network how to exploit SCADA systems. Well, they started small in November of 2023 by hacking into a dairy farm and altering the fans and the misters used to keep the animals cool. But this was only a start. By the end of the year, over 25 attacks caused devastating damage, the majority of which were in the United States. Some highlights. They attacked a number of municipal water systems, causing a loss of drinking water, and at one facility, a waste of over 200,000 gallons of potable water. They changed the acid levels used in a landfill water treatment plant. At a meat packing facility, they lost 2,000 pounds of meat and a toxic ammonia leak that caused the plant to be evacuated for 4 hours. At some oil and gas fields, they attempted to disarm settings that were on alarm so that there would be a probability of a real accident occurring. And their final effort? Tampering with the chlorination levels at a Netherlands children's water park. Incredible. It's so dangerous. Happily, the leadership of this collective is being brought to justice. But all of this just goes to point out just how important it is that if you have SCADA systems, please do something to protect them. There are people trying to damage them. Also, the MITRE Corporation has recently released their top 25 list of the most dangerous software weaknesses this year to reflect the latest changes in the threat landscape. Cross-site scripting vulnerabilities kept the top spot in the list for yet another year, followed by SQL injection and cross-site request forgeries, each up one position from last year. Missing authorization landed 4th in the 2025 list, up 5 positions, while a miscellaneous collection of out-of-bounds rights and other things filled out part of the top 10 along with path traversal, use after free, out-of-bounds read, and other code injection vulnerabilities. It's amazing how many applications remain unpatched or simply can't be patched, whether it's unsupported software, a vendor that went out of business, or other complications. Most of these strategies have been around for years. If you have old systems, consider using chambers as a way to cloak those vulnerabilities and keep them from being discovered. Chambers ensure that all of those ports are minimally open to only the necessary destinations and invisible to everything else. But let's turn now for some good news for the holiday season. It turns out that ransomware payments dropped significantly in the third quarter of 2025, according to analysis conducted by ransomware incident response firm Coveware. According to their study, ransomware payments dropped to a historical low of 23% in Q3 of 2025, which means that the success rate for cyber extortion is contracting. And obviously, this is a big success due to the efforts of law enforcement, cyber defenders, and the legal specialists who advise in the case of breaches. They attribute this drop to large enterprises being increasingly reluctant to pay ransoms after an attack, and secondly, that mid-market organizations, which are more likely to pay, are agreeing only to pay smaller ransoms. Now, we all know that usually ransomware is usually the very last step in a successful compromise event. And some of the best breach readiness actually comes from putting important assets into a chamber and applying zero trust policies. This shuts down all of the access paths that hackers use to access sensitive data, and chambers can even block exfiltration attempts. Well, that does it for this month's news roundup. From all of us at Zentera, we wish you a happy, secure, and breach-free holiday season.